Hey everyone, welcome to the Bold and Beautiful 24. I'm Alessio, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love bold and beautiful, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in.
The quiet of the late afternoon at Forrester Creations was deceptive. Sunlight poured through the massive windows, casting warm amber streaks across the design room floor, but the mood inside was anything but peaceful. Rich paced like a caged lion, his jaw tight, eyes narrowed, hands slicing the air with each frustrated gesture. Brooke stood just a few feet away, arms folded, her expression wavering between concern and irritation. She escaped Brooke. Rich snapped finally, the weight of those words hanging heavy between them. Luna actually found a way out of that damn house. Bill had guards posted. He had people watching her around the clock. And yet she's gone. Brooke shook her head slowly, trying to wrap her mind around it. I don't know how that's even possible, Rich. Bill said he was taking no chances. If Luna managed to get past him, then she's desperate. Her voice softened for a moment, then sharpened again. And desperate people do dangerous things. Rich slammed his palm against the table, making a stack of sketches flutter. She's not just desperate. She's manipulative. She's calculating. And now she's out there, who knows where, probably making her next move. But he knew where she would go. They both did. There was one person who, despite everything, Luna still felt connected to. One man who'd once cared. Or at least tried to. She's going to Finn, Brooke said quietly, voicing the thought Ridge refused to speak aloud. His head snapped toward her, eyes flashing. Exactly. And that's what scares me. Finn has a good heart. Too good. He tries to help everyone. Even the people who've hurt him. He'll see her and he'll start second-guessing everything. That's what Luna does. She twists things. She gets under people's skin. Brooke stepped forward, laying a hand gently on his arm. Then we warn him. We make sure he knows exactly what he's dealing with. We make sure she doesn't get to him first. But unbeknownst to them, Luna was already one step ahead. At that exact moment, the cool, sterile halls of University Hospital Los Angeles echoed faintly with the sound of hurried footsteps. Luna Nozawa moved like a shadow, head down, hoodie pulled tight, hair tucked beneath it. She had waited for the perfect window, and when the guards at Bill's mansion had rotated shifts, she'd slipped out a back entrance she'd memorized days ago. Her heart was still hammering from the escape, every nerve in her body wired, but she pushed forward. She knew Finn's schedule, or at least she used to. There was a time when she'd spent late nights in his orbit, quietly observing, feeling the warmth of a connection she thought was real. Just a few more minutes, she whispered to herself. For Luna, everything hinged on this moment. She needed to talk to Finn, not on the phone, not through a message, but face to face. She needed to make him see. As she slipped through the stairwell door, she replayed the last few weeks in her mind like a reel she couldn't stop. Her arrest. The betrayal she felt when Bill Spencer locked her inside his house like a criminal. The whispers behind her back. The news stories. The judgment. Everyone painting her as a monster. She wasn't a monster. She was a woman fighting for her life, for her dignity, for the little bit of control she still had. She stopped outside Finn's office, chest rising and falling in shallow breaths. Her hand trembled as it hovered over the door. What if he turned her away? What if he told her she deserved everything that was happening? She clenched her fist, pushed down the fear, and opened the door. Inside, Dr. John Finn Finnegan was standing at the counter reviewing medical charts, unaware of the storm about to walk in. His shoulders were tense, the stress of the day already weighing on him. He'd been in back-to-back surgeries, and on top of that, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was building. Ever since he heard about Luna being kept at Bill's estate, something inside him had felt unsettled. Finn. Her voice broke the silence like a sharp crack in glass. His head shot up, and for a second he didn't believe what he was seeing. Luna stood in the doorway, pale, wild-eyed, but undeniably real. Luna. She stepped inside quickly, closing the door behind her as if she was being chased. I had to see you. I had no one else. He stared at her, stunned, words forming slowly in his throat. You're supposed to be at Bill's. How did you even? I got out, she interrupted, her voice shaking. I couldn't stay there, Finn. It was a prison. They said it was for my protection, but we both know what that was really about. Control. Power. I couldn't breathe. Luna, Finn said carefully, his tone the same one he used when talking someone down from a ledge. Do you have any idea what's going to happen if they find out you're gone? Bill's people are probably already looking for you. Ridge is furious. Steffy, don't, she cut in, tears burning behind her eyes. Don't talk about Steffy like she's some kind of victim in this. She's made it very clear she wants me gone. She never saw me as anything more than a threat. Finn swallowed hard. You have to understand why, Luna. After everything that happened. She let out a sharp, broken laugh. After everything that happened? You mean after everyone decided I was guilty without even listening to me? She stepped closer, eyes locked on his. You used to look at me and see a person, Finn. Not a mistake. Not a headline. A person. The intensity in her voice made his stomach twist. Once upon a time, he had seen something fragile in her, something that made him want to help. But now everything was a tangled mess of betrayal, danger, and blurred lines. You can't be here, he said finally, stepping toward her, gently but firmly. It's not safe. Not for you, and not for anyone else. If Ridge finds out. Ridge isn't my father, she hissed. He doesn't get to control me. Bill isn't my father. No one does. Her voice cracked on the last word, and for the first time, Finn saw it. The fear. The exhaustion. She wasn't just running from Bill. She was running from everything. Meanwhile, across town, the storm was brewing exactly as Finn had feared. Back at Forrester Creations, Ridge's phone buzzed. He snatched it up, his expression darkening as he listened to the voice on the other end. What do you mean she's gone? He barked. Brooke's hand flew to her mouth, her worst suspicion confirmed. She can't just vanish, Ridge, Brooke whispered, eyes wide. She didn't vanish, Ridge growled, ending the call. She escaped. Bill's guys found the gate open. She's been gone for at least an hour. Brooke's heart sank. Then she's with Finn. Ridge didn't hesitate. He grabbed his jacket and strode toward the door, fury practically radiating off of him. Then I'm going to make sure this ends. Tonight. Back in Finn's office, Luna was unraveling. She'd started pacing now, her words spilling faster, less controlled. Do you know what it's like to have everyone decide your story for you? To have people whisper about you like you're some kind of ticking bomb? Her breath hitched. I didn't ask for any of this. I just wanted to live my life. Finn rubbed his temples, torn between duty and old emotions he didn't want to feel. Luna, you made choices. And those choices had consequences. I'm not saying what's happening to you is right, but it didn't come out of nowhere. She stopped pacing and looked at him like he'd stabbed her. You sound just like them. Luna. No, she said, shaking her head, stepping closer. You used to understand me. You used to listen. When everyone else turned their back, you were the one person I thought I could count on. And now you're standing there, sounding like Ridge, like Bill, like Steffy. Her lip trembled as she whispered, I don't have anyone left. And for the briefest moment, something in Finn cracked. He saw not the troublemaker, not the scandal, but the young woman who had once shown up in his life with hope in her eyes and dreams in her heart. She'd made mistakes, God, she'd made a lot of them, but he couldn't ignore the pain written all over her face. Luna, he said softly, almost against his better judgment. She closed the distance between them in an instant. Please, she whispered, clutching the fabric of his sleeve like it was the only thing keeping her from falling apart. Just listen to me. One last time. Please. Outside, the sound of tires screeching echoed faintly through the window. Ridge had arrived. And he wasn't alone. Bill Spencer's black SUV pulled up behind him, headlights glaring like the eyes of a predator. Inside the hospital, Luna heard it too. Her head whipped toward the sound, panic flooding her features. They found me, she breathed. Finn's chest tightened. This was spiraling fast. Luna, we have to get you out of here. No, she interrupted sharply. I'm not running anymore. If Ridge wants a fight, he's going to get one. Luna. But she was already backing toward the far wall, her chin lifting stubbornly. The girl who'd walked in afraid now burned with something different. Defiance. Ridge burst through the door moments later, his voice booming. Luna. She didn't flinch. She turned slowly to face him, her expression eerily calm. Hi, Ridge. Bill followed close behind, his face a thundercloud. You really think you can just slip out and no one would notice? He growled. You're making this worse for yourself. Maybe, Luna said, her voice steady. Or maybe I'm just taking back what little control I have left. Finn stepped between them instinctively, his hands raised. Ridge, Bill, stop. Yelling at her isn't going to fix anything. We need to de-escalate this before security. This is already out of control, Ridge barked. She broke out of my house, Finn. She's manipulating you just like she's been manipulating everyone else. Don't let her pull you in again. Luna laughed, a short bitter sound. I'm not manipulating anyone. I'm standing here, telling the truth. But none of you want to hear it. Bill's jaw tightened. You're coming with me. Now. No, she said quietly but firmly. I'm not. And just like that, the tension in the room coiled tighter than a spring. Finn felt it. This wasn't just about Luna anymore. This was about all the bad blood, the mistrust, the unhealed wounds that had been festering for months. He looked at Ridge, who was ready to drag her out himself. He looked at Bill, whose fists were clenched like he was about to make good on a threat. And then he looked at Luna, trembling but unbroken. She was cornered. And dangerous as that might be, she was also heartbreakingly human. Luna, Finn said softly, turning to her. Let me help you. But you have to trust me. You can't keep running. I've been trusting people my whole life, she said, her voice breaking. And every single time, it ends with someone locking me up or turning their back. Why should this be any different? Because I'm not them, he whispered. For a second, their eyes locked. Two people caught between past and present, between betrayal and the faintest trace of something that used to feel safe. The door slammed open again, and this time security officers entered, their radios crackling. Bill immediately stepped forward, flashing a sharp, authoritative gesture. She's a flight risk. Take her. Luna backed away, heart hammering, eyes wild. Finn instinctively moved in front of her, blocking their path. She's not a criminal, he said. She is, Ridge shot back. She's a danger to herself and everyone else. Get out of the way, Finn. But Finn didn't move. Ridge, he said steadily. If you try to drag her out of here kicking and screaming, it's not going to end well. Not for anyone. Let me talk to her. Let me do my job. Brooke, who had slipped in quietly behind the chaos, placed a hand on Ridge's arm, urging restraint. Ridge, look at him. He's not going to let this turn into a circus. Let him try. Ridge's jaw worked, fury and frustration battling inside him. Finally, he gave a curt nod. Fine. 2 minutes. The security officers stepped back slightly but stayed close. Bill's glare burned into Luna like a warning. Finn turned to her, lowering his voice. This is your chance, Luna. Right here, right now. Tell me the truth. All of it. For a long time she said nothing. Just breathing, fighting the panic clawing at her chest. Then finally she whispered. I didn't do what they think I did. I know that's what everyone's been saying, but I didn't. I made mistakes, yes, but I'm not what they're painting me to be. Tears slipped down her cheeks, hot and unrestrained. I was scared. And I lied about things I shouldn't have. But I didn't hurt anyone. I swear to you, Finn, I didn't. Please believe me. Something in him shifted then. Not full forgiveness, not blind trust, but the smallest flicker of empathy. Enough to steady his voice when he finally spoke. I believe, he said slowly, that you're not the monster they think you are. But if you keep running like this, Luna, that's exactly what they'll make you out to be. You have to face this. And you don't have to do it alone. Her breath hitched. You'd help me? He nodded once. On my terms. No more running. No more ambitious. You turn yourself in, and I'll make sure you're treated fairly. I'll make sure they actually listen. Behind them, Ridge scoffed, but Brooke shot him a look that silenced him. Luna stared at Finn like she was seeing him for the first time in forever. Her chest rose and fell in sharp, shallow breaths. She wanted to bolt. She wanted to scream. But something in his voice, something made her pause. Finally, with a trembling nod she whispered, "Okay." The security team moved forward cautiously. This time Luna didn't fight. She lowered her hands, allowing them to escort her out. Finn followed behind, a silent promise in his eyes. Ridge watched her go, still simmering with anger. "You're making a mistake," he muttered. "Maybe," Finn said quietly. "But at least I'm not making it worse." Brooke let out a shaky breath, glancing toward the door where Luna had disappeared. "This isn't over, Ridge. Not by a long shot." "No," he agreed darkly. "It's just beginning." Hours later, when the chaos had quieted and the corridors of the hospital were once again bathed in soft, sterile light, Finn sat alone in his office. The silence pressed on him. He thought about Luna's eyes, those flickers of fear and defiance colliding in a storm. He didn't know if he could fix this. He didn't even know if she deserved redemption. But he knew one thing. She wasn't the only one caught in the crossfire. Somewhere out there, the whole world was ready to tear Luna apart. And whether he liked it or not, Finn had just stepped into the middle of it. And that changed everything. The cold night air hit Luna like a slap to the face as she stepped outside the hospital. The security lights around the ambulance bay cast harsh white beams on her skin, making everything feel too bright, too real. The officers on either side of her didn't speak. Their hands hovered near her arms, not quite holding her but making it clear she had nowhere to go. Behind her, Finn followed at a measured pace, his lab coat fluttering slightly in the breeze. The heaviness of what had just unfolded in his office sat like a stone on his chest. He hadn't planned for this. Not the confrontation, not the way her voice cracked when she begged him to believe her. But most of all, he hadn't planned for the look in her eyes when she finally whispered, "Okay." Luna tilted her head up toward the sky as if she could inhale enough oxygen to keep herself from shattering. She hated that she'd cried in front of him. She hated that she'd let anyone see how scared she really was. But what she hated most of all was that for a split second, she had actually felt safe with Finn again. As they reached the edge of the parking lot, a familiar figure stepped into view, her mother, Penelope Poppy Nozawa. Poppy's eyes were wide, hair disheveled like she'd been pacing and pulling at it for hours. Her voice cracked the silence. "Luna." The officers stiffened instinctively, but Luna froze in place, chest rising and falling like she was trying to hold herself together with duct tape. "Mom," she whispered. Poppy rushed forward but stopped a few feet short, uncertain whether touching her daughter would make things better or worse. "Oh my God, Luna, what did you do?" Her voice wasn't just panic, it was layered with guilt. Guilt for not protecting her better. Guilt for letting all of this spiral so far out of control. Luna's jaw tightened. "I couldn't stay there," she said softly, her voice almost too quiet. "I couldn't breathe in that house. Bill isn't my warden. I had to get out." Poppy's hands fluttered helplessly in the air, as if reaching for the right words. "Baby, you can't just disappear. Ridge called me an hour ago. He said Bill was losing his mind. Do you know what they could charge you with? You can't just run away from this. They're treating you like," she choked on the last word, "like a criminal." Luna finished for her. "Yeah, I know. I'm living it, remember?" Behind them, Ridge's black car pulled up, followed by another SUV. When Ridge climbed out, his face was carved in granite. Bill was right behind him, and the two men together looked like the embodiment of fury. Finn stepped slightly closer to Luna instinctively. Poppy noticed the movement and glanced at him, silent but grateful that someone was standing between Luna and the storm. "Poppy," Ridge barked as he approached. "She's your daughter. Control her." Poppy's head whipped toward him, her voice trembling but firm. "She's not a child, Ridge. And she's not some animal you can just lock up and expect to obey." "Then maybe she should start acting like an adult," Ridge snapped. "She broke out of a house where she was supposed to stay for her own safety. She ambushed Finn. She's spiraling, and it's dangerous." Bill stepped closer, his voice low and sharp. "She's going back. Tonight. No more games, no more running. And if she tries this again, I'll make damn sure she faces real consequences." Luna lifted her chin, fire flickering in her eyes. "I'm not your prisoner, Bill." He glared down at her. "No. But you're living in my house. And as long as you are, you follow my rules." Finn exhaled slowly, trying to keep his own anger contained. Bill, yelling at her isn't going to help. Ridge, this is getting way out of hand. She came to talk to me, not to attack anyone. If you keep treating her like a criminal without due process, you're going to push her further away. And if that happens again, next time you might not find her at all. Ridge shot him a hard look. What exactly are you saying, Finn? That we just let her run around LA, while everything she's done gets swept under the rug? No, Finn said evenly. I'm saying there's a difference between protecting someone and breaking them. And right now you're breaking her. Luna's breath caught in her throat. She hadn't expected him to defend her. Not in front of Ridge. Not like that. Poppy stepped closer, gently touching Luna's arm. Please, she whispered, her voice trembling. Please just come home with us tonight. We'll figure this out. But you can't keep fighting everyone like this. It's killing me to see you like this. For a long time Luna didn't move. She could feel every set of eyes on her. Ridge's blazing with fury, Bill's hard as stone. Finn's calm but full of something else she didn't quite recognize. And her mother. Her mother just looked scared. Finally, Luna let out a shaky breath and nodded. Fine, she whispered. I'll go. But I'm not apologizing for leaving. Ridge opened his mouth to fire back, but Brooke, who had arrived silently behind him, laid a firm hand on his arm. Ridge, she said softly, enough. Her voice didn't carry judgment or anger. It carried something rarer in that room, compassion. Ridge clenched his jaw but said nothing, turning away with a sharp exhale. As Luna was guided toward Bill's SUV, she paused briefly and turned her head. Finn was still standing there under the hospital lights, hands tucked into his coat pockets, watching her. Their eyes met for just a second, a silent exchange that said everything words couldn't. She didn't say thank you. He didn't say goodbye. But something shifted between them anyway. Poppy slid into the car beside Luna, whispering frantically the whole ride back. What were you thinking? You scared me half to death. Ridge was threatening to call the police. Bill was ready to lock you up even tighter. I don't know how many more explosions like this we can survive. Luna stared out the window, her reflection pale against the dark night. I needed to see Finn, she said quietly. He's the only one who ever really listened to me, even if he doesn't trust me anymore. He doesn't look at me like I'm some kind of monster. Poppy closed her eyes, her heart aching. She had spent years trying to protect Luna from this world. The ruthless, judgmental people who chewed up the weak and spat them out. But Luna wasn't weak anymore. She was bruised, cornered, and ready to bite if pushed too far. Baby, Poppy whispered, her voice breaking. You have to stop running from this. Because if you don't, they're going to crush you. And I won't be able to stop them. Luna's fingers curled tightly in her lap. I'm not scared of Ridge. Or Bill. Not anymore. But the truth was she was scared. Just not of them. She was scared of losing the last sliver of control over her own story.